Right, let's move on to the pages. So the first thing I want to do is find my center page. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. So I don't actually have a center page. I have 2 center pages. Oh, hang on. No, I don't. I do have a center page. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's the first 3. Then this is our center, and then that's the last 3. I need to keep them in order because my little book with all the details is in order, so I have to be very cautious of keeping everything in order. Okay, so now I want to find the center of my book, which is good because it's right on that center line there, that sewing line. And the first thing I want to do is put this doily down here, like that, making sure that is fairly in the center, which it is, like that and like that. I actually think I want to stabilize the back of this a bit first, and I might just have to take that out while I'm working on this. Because it's all fabric, it might be a bit squishy, so I want to put something down the center here just to give it a little bit for the pages to hold on to. Let's see if I've got something that might work in my drawer here that gets a lot of scrap pieces in it. Leftovers from other projects and things like that get thrown in here. And I'm thinking maybe I've got some of that sturdy canvas in here, which is always good. It's really nice strong fabric. And not too, I don't want wadding. It's got a lot of thickness to it already. There must be something I can use in here. Look at that. I'm after a strong fabric, not something that will rip too easily. That one might be alright. That one, if I could almost double it over too. I don't think it's going to be wide enough though. The book's pretty wide, so we might need a wider piece here. There's something. Oh, there it is. This is a bit wider. Maybe that should be fine. I wonder if we could do it in thirds, like that. That might give it that extra strength it needs. And need to cut a bit of that off, don't we? So, like that. Like that. And back down to there. Okay. Cut that there. And this is just a cotton type, fairly tight, baby. It's nice and strong fabric. So I could put that there in the center. And what I'm going to do is use a little bit of this, and this is that Tvek. This was sent to me by Neri, who is DC Scrap and Rooster on YouTube. A lot of you probably already know Neri. And I'm going to put some of that in the middle of this and that. And I will glue this to this and glue it to this, stitch it to this. But I will actually glue it to this because just to give it a nice strong bond, and I may just stitch it carefully down the side. So I just don't want anything coming through to that side. So we need a piece of this. I'll just take that up. So, slightly smaller perhaps. It was straight, wasn't it? So that can go in there, and that'll kind of give it something to stick to. Go like that there, I think, and like that. So I can use fabric glue to glue that on. I've made one journal. The pages are quite heavy. That's why I'm doing this. I need something a little bit stronger on the spine here because the pages are quite heavy and I don't want them, they need something to hold to. So I'm going to be putting this on just for my own peace of mind, just so I know that it will last. And I will stitch it as well. Okay. And plus it'll have the binding go, you know, the stitches going through it to hold the pages on. Okay. Let's have a look. Put that there and that like that. So that is the middle of our book. And now I'm going to go and stitch this together just for extra strength. Put that there so I can stitch the signatures through all of that. So I'll be Alright, so that's done. I've just put a little bit of the offcut of doily from Claire in between it just to finish the top of the spine off inside there. I did not do it down the bottom, but I can put something in between the front and back cover when I do it then. So that's glued and stitched on. As you can see, I did a few rows of stitching on that fabric to hold it all together nicely, so that feels good. We'll turn it over now, and our center, we might want to get a pin, and because I have a seam, I know that that is the center there, and that is the center there as well. So that will keep me on line there. And our middle page, well, first we have our lovely doily to put in, and I need to be careful with that because it is quite delicate and fragile. So that will go there. Like that, and then we're going to put our first page in, which will go just like lining it up with those pins. There's the first one, there's the second one there, opening it up like that, and then I can put a couple of pins in. I hope, did that, no, that didn't go all the way through. like that there, that did, and like see there. Okay, there's a couple of lines there, so I just needed to make sure I had the right one. And I'm putting the pins this way, going vertical like that, so that I can open it and see how that little bow's trapped in there. So let's open it the other way and get our bow out. We don't want to be trapping our little bow in there. There. Have to make sure everything goes in the right spot. Like that, let's see. There we go. Not trapped now. So that is our first page. And of course, when I sew that in, I will take these out, anything like that out, and I will stitch it down there. I could, I'm thinking, make sure I've got the, yep. With this particular one, I may be able to sew that on the sewing machine because there's nothing in the way. As long as even with things like this, if you don't want them to get sewn on, just, just gently pin them to the side like that until you finish sewing and then unpin them. That could actually go a little bit further. Go like that. I'm not digging deep enough. That's what the thing is. Okay, there we go. So out of the way. With this one, yes, I could definitely. I would do it on the largest stitch. If there were bulky items, I would do it by hand, just the same in-out stitch all the way across. But because this one has nothing in the way, I'm going to pop that one under the sewing machine, and then I'll come back and show you. Alright, so I sewed the center page on with the sewing machine. The rest of the pages I have done by hand. And let's get to the center page. So this is our center page here, and that is the one that I sewed on with the sewing machine. And then all I did after that was in order, sort of from the center, I just spaced them about 1/2 inch apart and pinned it down the center and then hand stitched it in. And then I did the same thing again, pinned it and hand stitched it in. And I'm just going to show you with the last one here. This is the only one that I have not stitched in yet, and you'll see that in a moment. See, there's my pins. I have pinned it in the center there. It's about 1/2 inch. Some are more noticeable than others because of the laces used and things like that. You kind of notice, you do get glimpses of that blue lace in the middle of some of them, so that's nice. And I just want to quickly show you how I sewed it in. It is not the easiest thing to do, but it's not the hardest either. It's just one of those jobs that takes a little bit more time. So I put it like that. I find that's the easiest way. The most difficult ones to do are the ones right in the center of the book. But this one is like the last page, so it's not too difficult at all. I'll just sit down, make sure I've got you in frame there. Get myself some cotton, some thread. So I just had to empty my SD card because it was completely full and it had shut off while I was filming the sewing of this, and I had no idea it had shut off. So unfortunately I did not get the sewing of it, but you can sort of see where I've stitched it down there, and it is just a large, like, you know, about that far apart stitches, in out, just a running stitch, and that's all I've done, and it's in. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not taking it out to film it again. Hopefully you can understand. Well, I'm so annoyed that that happened, because it doesn't make a noise when the SD card is full. Anyway, what I'm going to go on with now is this page here. It kind of looks a bit, see how that one stops there, and although it's got that long lace, it just looks a bit blunt. So I've been going through this little, it's so lovely, isn't it? It's just made out of a paper bag too. This little gift from Beate, and there's this lovely vintage trim, this cotton trim in there. So what I thought I would do was gather that up and just put that along that side there, and that will help that to, you know, not look quite so blunt. That's just a running stitch for a gather, and then I will stitch it to that, and then I will be okay. So that is all stitched on now, that beautiful vintage cotton trim. And I also put this lovely lace on the edge of this page here. That is from Eliza Cogalore. Eliza Cogalore. She sent... Oh, yes, I know. Eliza sent these beautiful... She sent laces, a couple of laces, but she also sent... Where is it? Oh, these beautiful pearls here. These beautiful pearls here from a vintage shop. Oh, I love those pearls. Yes, she says they're unique and precious, and indeed they are. They're just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I think that's all I have to add to the pages on the outside now. I'm quite happy. That one doesn't have a lot going, but I think that's okay, because not every page needs to have, you know, lots of ruffles, just some of them. So let's have a look. That's what the back of the spine looks like now. That's what it looks like, that's what it looks like, and that's what it looks like. So I still need to, where was I putting? I think it goes in here, doesn't it? I still need to sew the pocket in on this page here. That's just a matter of sewing it along one edge, and then when I sew the pages together, I will enclose it and sew it along the other edge there. I'm quite sure I don't want to add any, I might have to think about it. It's late in the day now. I had to go out, so I missed a few hours. What time is it? It's 10 to 6, almost 12 hours later. So I'm going to give it a rest now and go make dinner and think about it. And so there will be probably one more video up tomorrow. So it did take a couple more videos than I expected, but that's okay. I really want to get it finished tomorrow. Here is New Year's Day, but it's still New Year's Eve in some parts of the world, isn't it? So good morning and Happy New Year, everybody. It is the 1st of January here today, and I want to get my book finished today, so I've just been playing and adding a few little things to the front cover here. I've used this lovely flower from Natasha, another little piece of that doily from Claire. I've used some trim from Crafty Neater and a button. I've also used the last of the pink buttons here from Linda Hanson. I've used a piece of that beautiful applique from Belinda Combs. This is a little bit of antique lace, also from Claire, and it's already in, it must have come off a cuff or something like that. So what I'm going to do is just attach it kind of like that at the bottom here. I quite like the look of that. And that will probably be enough for me. That's not too bulky for the front cover. Just adds, you know, a few more of the items, and I like that. And then on the side here, it's really wide. It's like that wide, probably 4 inches wide or something. What I thought I might like to do is make a bow for the top rather than, you know, anything else. And I've got these beautiful fabric laces here from Jordana. And I thought I would kind of make a bow out of these two fabrics, and I'm just thinking take 2 of the scallops on each end and gather it up so it's like that, but then have some of the embroidery anglaise against it like that. You'll see it when it's done anyway. So that's what I'm thinking for a bow there. And when I cut this part off, I can use this fabric perhaps for just the dangly hanging down bits there as well. And I was also thinking, let me just pop those back in that bag so I don't forget where they come from. I need to have something for the closure here, just a ribbon or some fabric. There might be some fabric in here I can use. And then Grace, who is Nostalgic and Intricate Delights, I think she's still that. She changed her name, I think, I'm not sure. And she sent these lovely little torch on bobbins here, and this lovely charm came with her. So I'm thinking maybe I can attach these to the front here on the closure as well. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, and that's what I want to get on with. And then I will be back, and hopefully then we can start putting the cover on the book, and it will be on its way to being complete. Alright, so that has been done. There's the applique from Belinda, the flower from Natasha, the inside flower from Claire Burrows, and I put a little bit of this trim, just a little bit of the embroidery off it in the center, which I did in this flower here, which I added. That is some lace from Irene of Seriously Scrappin'. Another one of the little crocheted flowers from Claire, and I added a little bit of this trim here to the inside of it. There's the button from Linda, the button from Crafty Neater, and the trim. A little button here from Karina, that's the last button, and the antique lace from Claire. I've also put some rickrack down there, and that is from Patricia Brightwell. And I added the doily from Claire as well to the back. I think I mentioned that at some stage that I was going to do that and then got distracted. I cut the inside of what was left of the doily off, and I've stitched it on, but can you see how I've kind of caught that bit? And that's just so that it will drape like that when it's on the book. Instead of being flat like that, I can have it so it kind of folds a little bit like that. It just looks a little bit softer, and so that's how I did that. It's just by, you know, catching it so it doesn't just go flat to the side, it's coming in like that, and just by putting a few stitches there and, you know, creasing it up a little bit like I've shown you before, just to add a little bit of interest to it. So now I have to decide, so that's the cover there now. It changed up a little bit. I did put the bow together for the side, which is sort of somewhere here, but I think I'll probably attach that once the cover is on the book so I know where to put it properly. And that was made from fabrics from Jordana Dean. Thank you, Jordana. Now I have to decide whether I want to be putting the cover on now, or whether, where's my book? It's hard to miss, or whether I want to be joining my pages together first, because I still, as you know, have to stitch all my pages together if I'm complete. I might put a little tacking stitch in there, because every time I open the page it flips like that and I'm having to flip it, and I don't want any of those buttons flipping off. So what I might do, I've got a thread here, I might just come in and put it only needs one little, a couple of little stitches, and it just stops it from flopping around every time I open it up. So like when I do that, see, it's still got movement, but it's holding it nicely in place. So I'll just do that while I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a couple of times now. Okay, so that bit's done. There, it doesn't flop around so much anymore. I kind of wish I'd have put these ribbons up here now rather than down there, but I'm not, going to be changing everything, because we always change our minds about something, don't we? Isn't this lovely? The way I stitch the pages together is actually really, really simple. You won't get it, unless you glue, you're not going to get it any more simple than what I do. I will use a double thread. I will probably start at the corner here and just, obviously I would need a longer thread. And the reason I'm starting at the corner is because sometimes when you move from the inside out, you might end up with uneven edges. At least this way, my edges are going to be straight, and I can ease them into each other going back towards the binding of it. And this is just going to be the same sort of thing. I'm just going to be catching them together between those layers. Once I get started, trying not to catch any of the decorative bits. Made that look easy. And it's just, what do you call that? Just like a slip stitch? Is that what it's called? It's just another in and out stitch. That's basically what sewing is. But see, I will just catch that together. About a half an inch apart again, like that. And once it's all done, you won't probably even notice that at all. It will all just sit there like that. It will be nicely put together, nice and soft, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and put all my pages together. I do have to put that pocket in that one page, and I still have to print out a picture of Robin's sister and put that in. What else do I have to do? I think that's all I have to do before putting the cover on. Oh, and my closure, because I want to sandwich my closure between the front and the inside cover. Okay, so I'm just going to end that bit there and then get a longer thread and finish it. So that's the start of that, see, and that will hold that together lovely. You will never know that's, you know, you can barely see that once it's all stitched together. So, what's that? Oh, still got pins in it from when I was sewing it together. I didn't want my lovely laces getting caught in the... I'll have to go through and make sure I haven't got any pins still in it. There's nothing worse than, you know, getting pinned by something. So, oh, I love that. It's beautiful. And put all my stuff in the pockets as well. So I'm going to go and I'm going to sew all my pages together now, and then we'll come back and put the cover on. Okay, so all the pages are stitched together now, and where's my cover? My cover is here, ready to go on. So, and it's almost lunchtime. I'm getting a little bit hungry. It's such a big book. Oh, I need to make it closure, don't I? I need something to put on here first. Let's see. We have fabrics. These ones do fray a little bit, so I'm probably not going to use those ones. See, I need something quite sturdy that will, you know, take a little bit of tugging. We also have this lovely ribbon. Oh, it's a thick ribbon, that one, remember? I don't know, might be a bit too thick. We might save that for the journal. I'll definitely make a journal. I've really enjoyed this whole process of using these things, and there are, you know, I've used all the precious things, but there's, you know, there's other things left. So I'm thinking making a journal would be lovely to play around with the rest of it. I wonder if, see this, so long, if I cut the border off and use that, I think that's what I'm going to do. Use that as the closure. If I cut it like that, and I wonder if we can just... that's so much easier, isn't it? Okay. Yep. My son's playing his game, so just excuse the noise. Let's see if that will make a nice bow. That will make a nice kind of bow, plenty big enough on the edge there. Let's just cut it in half and put half on the front and half on the back. That was easy, wasn't it? And this is from Claire Burrows. We might just angle that other side, put those in my little bag, and that way I can make some snippets with all those scraps to use in a journal. Just, I don't know what kind of journal yet. I don't know whether it'll be a writing journal or just a, you know, a journal, kind of junk journal type thing made from all these things. But obviously this is not junk. This is precious things. So I need to, you kind of have to, you don't put it right on the edge there. If you put it back like that, it has so much more support than putting it at the edge. And, you know, it makes it a lot stronger. So that one needs to go there. Like, oh, careful, I've got a bag behind there. I need to, maybe I should have done it to the front cover. That would be easier, I think. So, put it on the front cover, like that, going about like that. That'll be easier for me to stitch it. I'm just going to pleat it there. That'll be nice there. And then one at the other side for the back. there. Okay, then I shall go and stitch that, and shall have some lunch, and then I'm going to put the cover on, and then it will be done. Alright, so they are both sewn on now, and I've just added a little ruffle from that lovely table runner from Claire Burrows. Bit of that fabric, which is the same as the ties, to the top there. It just looked a bit too square. So now I'm going to be putting the cover on. I just need to... Okay, so to put the cover on, I'm going to do very similar to like a hollow spine effect, because it makes it easier for the pages to lay flat, both in a paper journal and a fabric journal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that there, the corners together, and then make sure everything's lining up. And then I'm just going to get my finger right in. See there? I'm holding my finger there, pulling that over there like that, and just making sure everything is lining up properly. And then what I'm going to do is put a pin in there, I think. I was going to clamp it, but I think a pin might be better to hold it right there, making sure it goes all the way through. Yes, it did. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom here, getting my corners both together like that, putting my finger right in there, and getting a pin, one nice sharp pin, and also pinning that. So that's like that. So it's pinned. You know the corners are going to meet up like that. But what I want to do is put a tacking stitch all the way along there. Because I can't get the sewing machine in, I don't want it joining on the spine. I'm going to be sewing all around those three sides there, but I want to put a tacking stitch in there just so the whole cover's not too loose. Like that part there will be hollow sort of thing, but I want a tacking stitch here to hold everything into place, and that's how I'm doing it. You could also put a pin in the center there as well, if you wanted to. That pin's not very good. I need some new pins. I'm trying not to prick myself. It's a bit harder to get it in the center, but I think I managed there. And now I can just do it like just a large basting stitch type thing. Let's see if we've got some thread. I've got some thread here, and it's basically just to hold everything into position, not going through too deep so that it's noticeable on the other side, but just to keep the pages together. So I'll do a few little stitches there to attach it to the page. And then I'm going to pick up a bit there and pick up a bit there, like that, and then pick up a bit there and pick up a bit there, like that. See? I hope you can see that. A little bit there, a little bit there. Alright, now before I go any further, I'm just going to check that it all sits nice, which it does, and then I can continue on. And I'm going to do that on both the front cover and the back cover. I feel like, see how that is sitting a bit lower? I might just take that pin out there. There, that might be better. Yeah, just do that like that. Okay. I'm going to do this on the front and the back cover, and then I'm going to sew the front cover to that, and that's done in exactly the same way as the pages were all done. Just pin the corners and then sew around it, and then pretty sure the book will be finished and I will come back and show it to you. I think I'm done, although every time I look at it I do a little bit more, so I probably need to put it aside. I think I attached the lovely bobbins from Grace on the side there and the little charm, so we've got those on. I've got my bow tied there, which is, I really love the bow. What else did I add? I added the bow on the spine, and I've used some more of that fabric from that long runner from Claire. You saw the bow I made using the lovely fabrics and also the remnants from the lace from Chabon. I used the spotted parts on there as well. The satin was the pink satin from Claire, like the rickrack. I did cut some little flowers from this trim from Crafty Nita and put it in each of the little spirals on the doily there like that. And I think that just adds a nice little touch. And I put this ruffle on the top here and a little bit at the front there just to finish it off as well. And let us go inside. So carefully opening the bow. And it does stand up. Well, when it's closed, it stands up. And I will try and take a couple of photos because these things, you know, it is, especially one so large, it's hard showing the whole thing. Okay, so I'm not going to go into detail who gave me what. That is on each of the individual videos, so I'm just going to show you the pages as we go along. There's my book. It has all the details in the book. And that's the pocket there. And this page here that I tacked down, all the pages are stitched together now. And that's that with the buttons and the tag inside and the lovely laces and the divider piece. Little booklet there with the little like christening day or blessing day heart and the flower there. And that's got the pocket in there. So I've got the long tag inside of that one. All the buttons here. And the beautiful applique, this lovely pearl trim, the butterfly, and all the sparkly bits on that page there. I just love that. And I think, I'm not sure, but I added a little bit of that lace from Chabon down the bottom of this page as well. And then that page there. And then there's the lovely doily from Jean. And then this page here. And then this page has the pockets with the envelope and the tag in it. And this, I love the way that ruffled up. I really do love the way that ruffled up with the doily pieces at the top there. Oh, I did add this little bit of pink doily down the bottom, and that was from Natasha, of Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. Because although I kind of blended it on that side, I'd forgotten to blend it on this side, so I just popped in that little bit of pink down the bottom, and that flows through now. And the little bits on this piece here. A lovely lady page, and I put ruffles on the side of that, but I think you saw that already. And this page here. There's a lot of pages for a fabric book. I think all in all there's 14. We'll count them in a moment. 7, 14 plus 2 inserts. We'll count them in a moment. So that's that one, and the antique laces and the beautiful appliques. This lovely ruffled trim down the side there. And then this one, and I'm just waiting for a photo. Robin knows about that. I needed to get this filmed, but I will be putting a photo, and she may not want me to show everybody her sister's photo anyway, so that's that page there. We have the napkin there, like that, and I'm not sure, did I tell you I tacked that lovely tatting doily onto the back of that, and you can see the stitching, just very light, and it's hidden inside anyway. This lovely page, I did tell you that I put some lace down the side there as well. I love that page. I'd like to do a book, a book on ladies. I know a few other people have already done that, and I've done a dress form book, but I haven't done like a vintage lady just dressing them up, and I'd really like to do that. So, and there's the back page there, and the very back page there. And the back of the book is there. So let's just tie it in a bow. And I'm going to say, apart from putting the photo in, my precious book is done. And what started off was going to be like a snippet, a snippet of precious things from people around the world, certainly turned into something a lot bigger than that. I'm so happy with it. I've thoroughly enjoyed the process of putting this book together. That's the top of it, and see there's a hollow spine in there. You can put your hand down there, but it just makes it easier for the pages to flatten out a bit. And that's the bottom of it, and that's the side of it, and that's the other side of it, like that. And I think it's wonderful, and it does stand out. We can have its little skirt showing here, like that. And I think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful keepsake for me. And I want to thank everybody who participated in my One Precious Thing challenge 2 years ago now, because it started, I think, on New Year's Day at the beginning of 2018, and it is now New Year's Day here, 2020. So thank you to everybody who took part in my One Precious Thing challenge. I have a few things left, and like I said, I will make a journal with those things. I think that would be a lovely addition, and this is going to be going in my glass cabinet as a treasure to keep forever. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, everybody, for watching these videos. I know they kind of a bit slow at times, but that's crafting sometimes, isn't it? It's not all fast. So there we go, and I'll try and get some photos and put them up now as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful 2020 and take care. Bye bye.